weird. And they showed a picture of her. I haven't seen her in probably 15 or more years, and how much she had changed and gotten older and just passed away for whatever reason. So this Mother's Day, which is next week, bring your mother. Go to church with your mother. Take your mother to church if she don't go to church. If your mother does go to church, then go with her to her church. Because you never know when God is going to decide to take her away from you. I bet my friend didn't get a notice, probably didn't get a vote, probably didn't get a choice in the matter. And now that Mother's Day is coming up, it's almost a cruel holiday to be coming up so quickly after his mom passes away. But for us, or those of us that still have our mothers, let's appreciate them and give them the greatest gift, which is to take them to church, or allow them to give us the greatest gift, which is to go to church with her. Amen? That's what a good mommy does. A good mommy takes her children to church and gets some order in their lives. I remember when I went to jail, and I used to tell myself, if my dad would go to jail with me, I'd probably handle it. If we could share the same cell and he could just be there with me, I'll probably be able to handle it. But he wasn't allowed to come with me. But you know who they let go in with me? Jesus. They didn't even search him or nothing. There was no fair. They just let him right in. Just bring him in, and he begins to minister and talk to you, and you begin to recall on the things that you've been taught, and it helps you get through those times. My brother-in-law is in the hospital. He had a surgery. Keep him in prayer. They're asking him to take it easy and to sleep as much as he can and to stay laying down. Well, if you know my brother-in-law, he don't like to do any of those things. He's always awake. He's always ready to go, and he's always on the move. And so keep him in prayer. His name is Antonio. Amen. The title of my sermon this afternoon is, It's Your Fight. I'm just in your corner. It's your fight. I'm just in your corner. You need someone in your corner. You need someone good in your corner. I liked the fights that went on last night. It was interesting. Although I'm a Mayweather fan, so I was going for Mayweather. And I saw the other guy. He was talking about how Jesus Christ and all that. And as soon as that, I said, "Oh man, God, He always makes us humble, man. He's probably going to lose." God just humbles us. Every time we get a little prideful and think we're on top, then we go and lose, and then we got to God say, "Well, how you going to react?" But they had good people in their corner. They had a corner man. One of the guys would come and try to stop the bleeding in between rounds. Another corner man would come and start giving him water. Another corner man will come in and start giving him advice. Listen, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this, you need to do that. This is what you need to do to win. You lost that round, but you need to win this round. And if you win the next round, then you could be okay. But, you got to watch the uppercut, and you got to keep jabbing. And then there was another one who was just wiping him down with the towel. And then just like that, the round was ready to start again, and they had to go back to the fight and leave their corner man. I believe today, and this is my mentality and way of thinking, is that you need a good corner man. I think a shepherd is like a corner man. This is your fight. I'm just in your corner. I think you need a good corner man. A shepherd is like a corner man. A shepherd is one who cares for his sheep. The word shepherd means a shepherd is one who cares for his sheep. There's also a shepherd is one who separates. One who separates. Sometimes you got to learn when to separate. You got to learn how to separate. Sometimes a corner man got to come in and say, you know what? You need to get that out of your life. You need to get that out of your life. You need to stop doing that. Stop being that. Stop acting like that. Stop talking like that. Stop going to that place. Stop going to that house. Stop going to those apartments. You need to separate. I'm here to tell you that there are some things in your life you need to separate from. That's what a corner man does. That's what a shepherd does. A shepherd's duty is to defend, water, give rest to, know, K-N-O-W, to number, secure a pasture for, and search for the lost. Like a spiritual trainer. A shepherd is a spiritual trainer, and he stands in your corner. He stands in your corner. I remember going to a 35-year-old man's deathbed. He was getting ready to die. And he kept calling me and calling me and calling me. And I went over there. And finally I went in there. I went in and talked to him. And I sat with him. And he says, Pastor Vic, I am not going to make it. This feels different. There's something different about this time. I'm not going to make it. And I said, well, what's the matter? He said, I'm scared. I'm afraid. I'm scared. He started crying. I said, let me tell you something. Let's make sure that you're white as snow. That if God calls you home, that you're ready. That's it. I can't diagnose you. I can't inject you. I can't give you a diagnosis. I can't do it. But let me make you ready that if God comes, the doctors won't stand in your corner. If God comes, that your friends can't stand in your corner. That if God comes, your whole neighborhood can't stand in your corner. But I'm going to stand in your corner that you're ready. That when God comes and the bell rings, you can lift your head up and say, I'm ready. I'm washed white as snow. I've been forgiven. I've said the sinner's prayer. I've made friends with my past, and I've asked for forgiveness, and I've given forgiveness. And now let it be whatever God's will is. I'm ready. Amen. I got a good corner, man. Too many days after that, God called him home. But you know what? He was ready for the biggest fight of his life that day. Because he had a good corner, man. It's your fight. I'm just in your corner. I'm just in your corner. I'm here to see what you can't see. When the devil's punching you in the face and you got to close your eyes so that you won't eat that glove, my eyes are open and I'm watching and I'm showing and I'm looking to see how you can avoid the next blow, how you can avoid and survive the next round. That's my job. 1 Peter 5, verse 1. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 1. The elders who are among you I exhort, I who am a fellow elder and a witness of the sufferings of Christ, and also a partaker of the glory that will be revealed. Shepherd the flock of God which is among you, serving as overseer, not by compulsion, but willingly, not for dishonest gain, but eagerly, nor as being lords over those entrusted to you, but being examples to the flock. And when the chief shepherd appears, you will receive the crown of glory that does not fade away. Nor as being overlords over those entrusted to you, but being examples to the flock. So the corner man comes in, gets in your corner, and uses the knowledge that he has gained from victories both won and lost. So I'm going to sit back and say, you know what, I know what it's like to have a broken heart. I know how to survive it. I know what it's like to be in poverty. I know how to survive it. I know what it's like when money come in between a relationship. I survived it. I know what it's like to have a teenage pregnancy in your life. I survived it. I know what it's like to be strung out on drugs. I survived it. So all these different battles that I've won and lost, I've put them and I've combined them into a knowledge that I want to give to you so you can survive the next round. So I want to be an example. And it says, you know, it says to not to be a coward and not to be dishonest and not to be too eager. And then when the chief shepherd appears, you will receive a crown of glory which does not fade away. Here's the problem. You know, there's a scripture in there that I kept out. It says that the shepherd will leave the 99 to go after the one. I believe that. I like that. The problem is that too many sheep leave and don't want to be found. See, I'm not a beggar. I won't beg you. You don't want to come to church? I don't care. Don't come. It's your hell, not mine. I don't have to live your hell. And you don't have to live mine. I also don't get to live your heaven. And you don't get to live mine either. So sometimes I'll be looking and saying, see, these sheep want to be found? Some sheep don't want to be found. And they work hard to not to be found. That's why they do it in the darkness. You know what I'm saying? Because if they do it in the darkness, they don't want to be exposed to the light. If I come up into your life and it smells like crack or smells like meth or there's alcohol bottles all over, all of a sudden I show up at your house, I'll be like, oh, this is the light exposing you to the darkness. And I didn't realize you didn't want to be found. So I don't go searching for sheep that don't want to be found. Listen now. Listen now. A sheep, a lost lamb who wants to be lost is only lost until the wolf decides he is hungry. If you want to be lost and you don't want to be found, that's fine. But you're not lost because the shepherd won't find you. You're lost until the wolf decides that he's hungry. Till the wolf decides he wants to gobble up your life. Till you fall asleep one time and you wake up and you realize wherever you fell asleep, they went through your pockets while you was asleep. When you fall asleep one time, you don't want to be found, and you wake up and you realize your car is not where you parked it because the people borrowed it without your permission and never brought it back. So you realize that there are people up in your house and you don't know how to ask them to leave because you don't know how they got there in the first place. Because you're a sheep that don't want to be found. And if you're a sheep that don't want to be found, then you know who your corner man is? The wolf, not the shepherd. Let's go to Matthew 25. Matthew 25. Matthew 25:31. Check this out. This is the meat of it right here. When the Son of Man comes in his glory and all the holy angels with him, then he will sit on the throne of his glory. All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate them one from another as a shepherd divides his sheep from the goats. Remember I said that a shepherd is one who separates? Now the greatest shepherd of all is separating the sheep from the goats. Now there is a time, church, where your shepherd has to stand up here and divide the sheep from the goats. I got to get up and say, you know what? You've been in this flock for a long time, but you ain't nothing but a goat, and we need to separate. You've been in this flock a long time, and you a sheep, and you ain't going to get treated like a goat anymore because you got a good corner man. But there is going to be a point in time on earth and in heaven when the shepherd must separate the sheep from the goat. You know how you can avoid it happening to you? Go home right now, do some inventory, and get rid of some goats in your life. Because you're a sheep. You're white as snow. You're pure. You're special. You're an anointed sacrifice. You ain't unclean. You're white as snow. You're wonderful. You're beautiful. You're amazing. But you might just end up growing a little tiny horn on the top of your head. And be like, hey, those wasn't there yesterday. And then all of a sudden you think it's okay because you hang around goats all day long. There's a saying my grandpa says, he says, show me who you hang around, I'll show you who you are. So I stay by myself pretty much all the time, and God, I told Missy the other day, I said, man, I need a friend, man, or a hug, or a counselor or something, I'm going to go for a walk. I've been talking to myself and finding myself, said, man, I'm tired of hearing from you. I was there, I witnessed it. Can we just sit in silence? So go home and say, let me tell you how serious this Christian thing is. Let me tell you how serious this God thing is that when God was in the presence of unrighteousness, he did all the talking. If you get in the presence of unrighteousness and you're not doing all the talking, you should split. Because there is no even. You're either bringing them up or they're bringing you down. That's it. That's it. I got a good friend of mine, he called me up every once in a while, man, and my girl and my wife and my kids, and then he just says the dumbest thing, just off the wall. He's like, I miss my wife, and I want to help, I'll be praying to God. He goes, oh, remember that time we drove around with those guns and we was doing... I said, what? I said, wait, no, I can't talk to you about that. If you want to get saved and get righteous and get good, we can talk, but once you go over there, I can't, I start growing a little horn right there. You start talking, I hang up the phone, my wife's like, what's wrong with you? I don't know. She's like, you was talking to that boy again, wasn't you? Like, yeah. Isn't that obvious? But it's that much. You you start a new job and you say, hello, how you doing? Next thing you know, that they're taking you to eat lunch, and the next thing you know, you have an inappropriate conversation. Next thing you know, you invited to a party, and while you're their friend, and well, they got a drink, and I got a drink, and next thing you know, man, they brought you all the way down. Because you never separated yourself from the sheep and the goat. You got to be walking with someone and say, wait a minute, sorry, sheep only. You ever done that? Could you imagine you go home and be like, sorry, this house is now for only sheep. Go, 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 go. You got to go. Only sheep in this house. So if you don't do it, then God says, I'm going to do it. Then all the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate them from one another as a shepherd divides the sheep from the goats, which is a whole other sermon. And he will set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on his left. Then the king will say to those on his right hand, come you, blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundations of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me. Then the righteous will answer him, saying, Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, and thirsty and give you drink? When did we see you a stranger and take you in, or naked and clothe you? Or when did we see you sick or in prison and come to you? And the king will answer and say to them, surely I say to you, inasmuch as you did it to one of the least of my brethren, you did it to me. So he's saying that, you know what? He's saying you didn't even realize that you were helping me. You didn't even realize that you were preparing yourself. You're getting your own ticket ready to go into heaven. You didn't realize it, but it's okay because you know what? It's one of the perks of just being a sheep. Okay? Then it says, number 40 says, and the king will answer and say to them, surely I say to you, inasmuch as you did to one of the least of my brethren, you did it unto me. Now, 41. Then he will say to those on the left hand, depart from me, you cursed, into the everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was hungry, and you gave me no food. I was thirsty, and you gave me no drink. I was a stranger, and you did not take me in. Naked, and you did not clothe me. Sick and in prison, you did not visit me. Then they will answer him, saying, Lord, when did we see you hungry, naked, sick, and in prison, and did not minister to you? When did those things happen? Then he will answer them, saying, surely I say to you, inasmuch as you did not do it to one of the least of these, you did not do it to me. And these will go away into everlasting punishment, but the righteous into eternal life. My job as a corner man is to teach you when to feed the hungry. Teach you when to clothe the naked. Teach you when to go to prison. To teach you when to go and minister. To teach you to when and go and coddle. Teach you to when to go and counsel. Teach you to when to go and lay hands. And I teach it to you that it comes so naturally that when God calls you to heaven and says, thank you for those things you did, you say, when did I do it? I was just living my life being a sheep. I didn't even realize I was preparing myself a place in heaven.
Amen. Thank you, Jesus.
But for the one that doesn't do it, it seems like when the righteous say, Lord, when did you do it? It's a good question. But when the unrighteous ask it, it's a stupid question. The unrighteous say, oh, when? When did you ask me to, did you ask me? And was that me? You was talking to me. I thought you saw the person behind me. I saw something. I read something. I had a feel. But you was talking to me because when did I was walking around and I didn't see no naked people. I didn't see no hungry people. When did that happen again? So it becomes a dumb question. Why? Because they got no corner man. They got no corner man that says, hey, next time in this round, feed the hungry. Hey, in this round, clothe the naked. Hey, in this round, go minister to the lost. Hey, in this round, go to the prison, visit the prisoner. No corner man. They didn't know when to do it. They didn't know what to do. They didn't know when to do it, and they didn't know how to do it. So they went to hell because they had no trainer. They had no corner man. They had nobody that when the referee came in and said, okay, break, go to your corner, there was nobody there to talk to them. There was nobody there to set them right. There was nobody to say, why do you think I was so hard on whoever did that to the bathroom? Because there's a break. This Sunday is a break in your fight. Your fight is Monday through Saturday. But every Sunday, you show up here because the enemy and God comes down and the referee comes down and says, break. Go to your corner, and you go to your corner. Now you go to your corner and get your advice, get you some counsel, get you something exciting, get you something to help you make it through the next round.
Yes.
You can't say amen.
Yes, 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 amen.
So you're here today because you're in between rounds. Because the devil been fighting you all week long. I couldn't wait to get to church. The only place I feel comfortable. Feel comfortable right here. Feel relaxed. Feel ready. Feel no paranoia. No any of that. It's like the presence and the righteousness of God is here. And I'm opening to listen because sometimes when I'm in the middle of a battle, I don't hear God so well. What did he say? What did he tell me to do? What was that scripture I read? What was it that I can't find it? And I'm so flustered. And where's the book? And what was the thing? And I can't. And when Sunday come along and you kind of regather yourself and they stop the bleeding and they put the coldness to stop the swelling. And all of a sudden you catch your breath back. You take some drink of living water. And you say, okay, I remember now. Now, you know what? I am an overcomer. I am more than a conqueror. You know what? I'm tired of the devil kicking my can. I'm ready to rise up and fight back. I am a David. And you are Goliath. I'm going to whoop you. I'm going to whoop you today. I'm going to get you because I'm encouraged and I've been set free and I've been forgiven. I've laid my burdens down and I put all my rejection and all that fear and bitterness. I left it at the altar. Now I'm ready for the next round. Amen. Hallelujah. Let's see. My job is to teach you how to be a sheep and not a goat. My job is to teach you how to be a sheep and not a goat. And not a goat. That's it. You know, they eat grass and they both, they kind of have the same habits and they kind of look the same and but there is just, when you look at a sheep, there's something so productive about a sheep. See, a sheep, you shear the sheep, you cut the fur off the sheep and you can wear it for clothes and you can make blankets out of it and then he's going to grow more and you shave him again and he's productive. You can't do that with a goat. You can't do that with a goat. A goat is considered unclean and inappropriate, and a sheep is considered clean and appropriate sacrifice. Matthew 9:35. I'm almost done. Matthew 9:35. Matthew 9:35. Then Jesus went about the cities and the villages, teaching in their synagogues, preaching the gospel of the kingdom, and healing every sickness and every disease among the people. But when he saw the multitudes, he was moved with compassion for them because they were weary and scattered like sheep having no shepherd. Then he said to his disciples, the harvest truly is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Therefore pray the Lord of the harvest to send out laborers into his harvest. He says, but when he saw the multitude, he was moved with compassion for them because they were weary and scattered and they had no corner man. They had no corner man. So I can heal you today, but you're going to be sick again tomorrow. I can feed you today, but you're going to be hungry again tomorrow. I can clothe you today, but you're going to need clothes for tomorrow. Now, I take care of you right now, but I'm worried about the next round because you got no corner man. You ain't got nobody to tell you to keep your left up. You ain't got nobody to tell you you're going to make it. You're going to survive it. You got nobody to tell you, hey, it's not broken. Keep fighting. You got nobody to tell you. They say, there was a boxing match I saw one time and the fighter broke his hand. And the announcer said, uh-oh, sooner or later that hand's going to go numb. And when that hand goes numb, you better look out because he's going to start using it again. He got no corner man to come in and start wiping the blood away. You know what? We can stop the bleeding from last week, but who's going to stop the bleeding for next week? When was the last time that you broke and went and took advice from your corner man? When was the last time you went and said, you know what? You my trainer. You've been training for this. You know, Jesus trained for 30 years for a 3-year bout. Jesus trained for 30 years for a 3-year bout. 30 years he had to train for a 3-year bout. We have to train. This is where we train. This is where we train our children. This is where we say, hey, you ain't going to act like that in church. Because if you act like that in church and I'm sitting right in front of you, how you probably act when I'm not around? Come on now. We in training. We're gonna house train our children. That way when we take them over to see mama and papa, dad, and we go visit auntie, we go visit uncle, I say our children act right. Because they housebroken. Like, well, how would you kids learn that, church?
I had a lady tell me the other day, she said, oh, my kids ain't used to all that. I said, wait a minute. Used to what? A little bit of music? A little bit of truth? A little bit of righteousness? You ain't used to that in the world that we live in? You ain't used to that with the Boston bomber and the earthquakes and avalanches and all these things going on? Oh, my kid wasn't used to that. Well, I hope your kid ain't never in trouble, because this is the corner man. This is a break time. This when I tell him, listen, this is how you going to make it to be 13. This is how you going to make it to be 15. This is how you going to make it to be 12 years old. This is how you going to make it. Right? A people who have no one in their corner. A people who have no one in there. It's your fight. I'm just in your corner. It's your fight. I'm just in your corner. I just need to get you ready so that when God comes, that you be white as snow. I'm just here to get you ready so that when you know what the difference between saved and unsaved isn't about the trials that we go through. It's about how we make it through the trials that we go through. It's about the smile. Me and Pastor Misty, we in a little trial right now, and I just keep telling myself, just smile, just smile. So just smile. Don't go to the Capitol and start picking people off. Just smile. Don't go to other churches, be no other pastors up. Just smile. Just smile. Because when I come out the tribulation, I want someone to come to the corner and say, okay, coach, how'd you do that? How in the world did you survive a teenage pregnancy? How in the world did you survive being a grandpa at 25 years old? Or 26 years old? Or 27? I don't know. I'm like 20-something. Anyway, I got 3 grandkids, and I'm too young to have grandkids. But if you have grandkids, we get together, we get in the corner and say, all right, this is what we're going to do. This is what we do when the mama won't let you see your own grandkid. This is how you survive it. This is how you survive it when your broken hearts come into your children. This is how you survive it. I'm almost done. Let me be quiet. James chapter 4. A lot of scripture. Almost done. Almost done. Listen, church. I hear the sound of the coming of the Lord. I hear the sound of the coming of the Lord. When I heard it the clearest? When that person braked right in front of me, man, I thought I was going to just eat it. I thought, I hear the Lord. I'm getting a car accident. Lord, I'm coming home. When I heard it, when I see the school shootings and I see that people don't care about life anymore. I see that neighbors don't care about their neighbors' children anymore. I hear the sound of the coming of the Lord. That I know that one day it's going to be my turn, and I got to be ready. I got to be ready. I got to be ready. You got to be ready. You know what you are? You a mean fighting machine. And you need a corner man. You need a corner man. You need to come in and say, you know what am I doing wrong? How come I feel like I'm losing? How come I feel like I'm not going to get up? How come I feel like I'm going to go out? How come I feel like my body wants to give up? How come I feel like my mind isn't in one accord? How come I feel like everything is scattered? How come I can't focus? How come I can't see? How come I keep getting hit? How come it feels like I'm just swinging and hitting the air and I'm not hitting the target in front of me? Why does it feel like I'm going backwards instead of forwards? Why does it? And it stopped, and we're going to examine the last round of your life. We're going to examine. Well, you got some weeds you got to pull up and uproot. You got some goats that keep hanging around, and you got to separate them. You got some things you got to do with your money. You got some things you got to do with your family. You got some things you got to do with your eating habits. We got to do some changing so that way you don't feel like that in the next round. Because the fight don't stop. Man, go to the hospital, go to the doctor, go to the prison, go to the jail, go to Pueblo, go to California, wherever you want to go. The fight don't stop. The fight don't stop. But you need a good corner man. James chapter 4, verse 1. I believe this is my last. One more scripture after this. James 4, verse 1. Where do wars and fights come from among you? Do they not come from your desires for pleasure that war in your members? You lust and do not have. You murder and covet and cannot obtain. You fight and war, yet you do not have because you do not ask. You ask and do not receive because you ask amiss, that you may spend it on your pleasures. Adulterers and adulteresses, do you not know that friendship with the world is enmity with God? Wherever therefore wants to be a friend of the world makes himself an enemy of God. Or do you think that the scripture says in vain, the Spirit who dwells in us yearns jealousy, but he gives more grace than, therefore he says, but resist the proud, but give grace, but he resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble. He says, if you're a friend to the world, you are an enemy to God. If your friends or your family or your spouse or your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your baby daddy or your mama baby or your mama baby cousin, somebody, if whoever comes to you and they come with all this strife and they ask you what's wrong, you better be a good corner man and say, you are an enemy to God because you are a friend of the world. And when it's break time and you got to go to your corner, I go to the shepherd and you go to the devil. Come on now. That's it. It ain't a mystery. It ain't an enigma. It ain't caught up and hidden somewhere in Genesis or in the first 5 books of the Torah. It's not a revelation that we need to break down. James says it very simply. He says, if you are a friend to the world, then you are an enemy to God. And when you are an enemy to God and God says break, it's time to reconvene. It's time to go to your trainer. It's time to go each to your own corner. Then you just get to walk around the ring until it's time to take another beating. Because you don't learn. Because you don't learn. I've learned that, I can't be around too many worldly men. I can't be around them. I can't, because then I'll try to dominate. I'll try to put my chest out. Try to cause strife. Try to cause division. Try to say I'm stronger than you. I'm tougher than you. One of the worst problems I used to have when I would go give my testimony in juvenile halls, I go to a juvenile hall and give my testimony. I go to a youth rally or a youth event, and they'd always say, what set did you claim? Little gangbanger come up to me and be like, hey, what gang was you in? Like, now, what in the world does that have to do with my testimony? So then he draw the gangster out in me, be like, well, I claim this. Oh, I claimed that. Well, when I claimed that, I didn't like that. And I didn't like that color. You didn't like this color. All of a sudden now I'm mad at this poor dude that I was trying to save because we had turned from 2 sheep to 2 goats in an instant. So then I needed my cup, man. I remember one time my dad took me aside. I was preaching in Pueblo. I was saying some things in Pueblo. We got done. We went to eat to Denny's. He said, here, let me sit at this table with you just by yourself. And he says, you can't say that from the pulpit. I said, well, are you sure? He says, no, you can't say that. Because you're going to make yourself vulnerable. See, every time you say that, you drop your left hand. And when you drop your left hand, it's open for the enemy to hit you in the face. So you got to keep that hand up. And don't say that from the pulpit. Because I had a good corner man. Everybody has a corner man. I have a good corner man. I have a good advisor. I was going to say, hey, so let me wrap this up in 7 minutes, 32 seconds, 31 seconds, 30 seconds. I have a good corner man. I need a good corner man. You need a good corner man. Let me tell you something. If I ain't saying, you better start asking. You better start, you don't come at me with something crazy. Don't come at me with why the grass don't grow in the backyard. Or don't come at me with why my kid acts so bad, but you don't bring your kid to church. Don't come at me and be like, why my husband do this, but you know what, your husband is an alcoholic. Those are the reasons why. That's why. But you want to come in and you want to talk to me about why did the enemy come after me? Why did the enemy battle me? Why is my mind like this? Why is my heart like this? Why is my situation? It ain't easy to get rid of a goat. It ain't easy. You got to be skilled because you know what? Them goats, once they realize you know where the water is, and once they realize that they can sponge, and once they realize you know where the green pastures are, they'll follow you even from a distance. Like, I thought I quit you like 3 days ago. How are you still here? I thought I told you to leave. I'm still waiting for you to come out of the bathroom so I can use it, and you're still here. You ever gone in after the goat comes out? You got rid of the goat a long time ago. But you got to be skilled. You got to understand. You got to say, you know what, I've been to my corner. I talked to my corner man and said, I cleaned up the blood from what the last beating that you gave me. I fixed up my nose now. And I got refreshed. I got the water. Now I'm ready to battle you. And now I understand. Teach me how to win this next round. Pastor, teach me how to win this next round. Teach me how to win this next round. Because this life is a fight that will never end until God calls us home.
Come on.
I'm in round 5. I'm not worried about 6, 7, and 8. Teach me how to win round 5. Teach me how to get through this moment. Teach me how to be a better husband, a better father, a better pastor, a better son, a better brother, a better uncle, a better grandson, a better nephew, a better example. Teach me how to win this round. One thing I like about battle-tested Christians is that when God says break and you go to your corner, and you feel like you're losing and the blood is dripping and it's mixed in with the sweat and the blood and the sweat are dripping down. You don't know where it's coming from what. And your eyes are swollen from the beating and you're breathing hard. You ever breathe so hard that your chest burns? I don't even know. It burns. It just burns. I want to stop. I need a break. And they pull out the bench and they let you sit down and say, calm down. And they're fanning you and they're fanning you and they're fanning you. I'm losing. I'm losing. I'm going to lose the battle. I'm going to lose it. Like, I'm going to take my own life. I'm going to take my own life because I can't fight the battle of life anymore. I'm going to run away because I can't be here anymore. I'm going to run. I'm going to leave my kids behind because you know what? I'm such a bad dad. It's better that someone else raise them than me raise them. I can't take it. I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to be it. I just want to disappear. I just want to just leave. I just want to go. And all of a sudden you feel the little wind from the towel that they're blowing on you and your legs start getting strength back because you're sitting down and you're taking little sips of water and that little water, water is turning into energy because your muscles need water because they're mostly water and they're soaking up the water. And all of a sudden they put that cold bag of ice all over you so that the heat from your chest and your back is dissipating because of the cold water. And then they've taken the Q-tips and they've stopped the bleeding. And they put the Vaseline on you to stop the bleeding. And you sit there and then God leans down and he says something like, remember the last time that you were in a fight like this and you thought you weren't going to make it? Remember the last time that you had to move and you weren't sure what to do? Remember the last time you didn't have any money? Remember the last time it was your daughter instead of your son? And you made it through that round. And because you made it through that round and you got a good corner man and I've been separating you from the goats, you are going to win this round. So get ready because you're going to win the next round and you're going to win the next round and you're going to win the next round because we're undefeated. Can you say amen? Yeah. Oh, done. Here. Bishop, play something. Remember, maybe we're on like our 14th heartbreak, and we act like it's our first. We've been here before. He gathers up the pieces, and he puts them back together the right way, and he gives us the strength. Don't underestimate pain. You know what pain does? Pain tells you you don't belong here. Pain tells you stop doing that. Pain tells you don't go there anymore because every time you go there, you get hurt. So stop going there. And if it wasn't for pain, you would keep going there. Stop calling because every time you call and you hang up, you're hurt. Stop looking to them to guide you because they keep leading you in the wrong direction. And you get hurt. Come back. Come back in between rounds. Come back every Sunday and let me encourage. It's your fight, baby. I'm just in your corner. When all the crowd is yelling, you can't understand whose name they're chanting. Listen for my voice. Because on Wednesday, when it's all done, Wednesday, that's the first already, the first of the month. I didn't have money for last month. I got money for this month. And it's already passing by. I barely ate yesterday. I barely got enough to eat today. And you feel like you're getting beat down and dropped to your knees and your heart is shattered in 1,000 pieces and you're crying as you pick them up. Listen to my voice. You can do it. Pick it up one piece at a time, because eventually you will pick up the last piece. Go ahead and cry, because eventually you will cry the last tear. You ain't always going to be a beggar. You ain't always going to be the tail. You ain't always going to be last. You ain't always going to be forgotten about, because one day when they start separating, you're going to realize you was the only sheep amongst 1,000 goats. But when God decided to separate, there I was in the middle of my fight, winning. That's why you need someone good in your corner. Someone to say, eat right. Eat better. Eat better. Just eat better. Eat better. It's going to help you through the next round. It's going to help you through the next round. To train your body, fast. Put some days of fasting under your belt. It's gonna help you. It's gonna help you in the next round. Pray right now. It's gonna help you in the next round. It's gonna help you in the next round. Pray right now. Study. Read the word. It's gonna help you in the next round. It's gonna help you in the next round. Hey, go to church. Hey, listen to me now. Go to church. It's going to help you in the next round. If you've been fighting for 3 rounds and you ain't had one break in any of them rounds, hey, go to church so that you can hear my voice more clearly. So that when you start walking down the street and you walk into the wrong place, you're going to hear my voice say, don't go there. Don't go there. You know that's going to hurt you. Don't go there. When someone call you on the phone and say, you know what, I do better than you anyway. You ain't worth nothing. You know what, hang up. Then you hear my voice and say, you are great and beautiful and wonderful and made in the image of God. And if you wait upon the Lord, you are going to soar on wings like eagles high above the storm. So let all them turkeys go. Let all them goats go. Because I'm something special. Who told you that? My corner man. Who told you was going to win this fight? My trainer. My corner man told me that I could win this. And if he believes in me, why shouldn't I believe in me? If he knows I'm going to make it, why shouldn't I know that I'm going to make it? If he believes that God's going to put me somewhere where they can't move me every time they feel like moving me, then why shouldn't I believe it? Come on. I'm your cut man. I'm going to stop the bleeding. I'm going to give you that. I'm going to give you some water, cool you down with some ice, give you a towel, wipe away the sweat. I'm going to advise you. This is a life, it's a fight, a never-ending battle. And training is a lifestyle. It's not about not fighting. It's about winning every time you fight. It's about making it. Have you ever heard that saying? They say, even when I lose, I win. Because I learned something that I didn't know before. When I lose, I win. Because I learned something about myself that I didn't know before I lost. So you may think I'm losing, and the world may think I'm losing, and my enemies might think I'm losing. But even when I lose, I win because I learned something. My God. Let me end this. Can I end with this? Check this out. Check it out. This is what you're going to do. My God. This is what you're going to do. I can't go to the job interview with you because it's your fight. I'm just in your corner. Right? Right? I can't be in the bedroom there trying to make peace between you and your wife. It's your fight. I'm just in your corner. Okay? I can't go with you to the dope man and try to fight your addiction. It's your fight. I'm just in your corner. Okay? I can't go to the courthouse. The judge, I learned the judge don't listen to me. Really, he don't. He don't listen to me. But it's your fight. I'm just in your corner. I'm in your corner. I'm in your corner. I'm in your corner. So So when it's all said and done, whew, my God, when it's all said and done, and when it's over, you got a team behind you. You got a team behind you. You got people rooting for you. You got people excited about you. They got the name on your t-shirt. We got the belts of your prior victories, and we're holding them up. We're coming into songs of victory. Oh, victory, it is mine. If I hold my peace and let the Lord fight my battle. Victory, oh, victory, it is mine. And you walk into the ring, and you realize that the devil's more afraid of you than you are of him. Because you got a corner man. You got a cut man. You got an advisor. You got someone standing in your corner, baby. We might have to shiver together. We might have to huddle in. We might have to be hungry a couple of times. But you got somebody in your corner. That way when we go to the buffet, we can say things like, remember that battle we was in? We thought we was going to lose. We thought we was going to go homeless. We thought we was going to go broke. We thought we was going to... But look at me now, baby. I want to fight because I got a corner man.
Come on now. Come on. Hallelujah.
So, man, I guess...
Hallelujah.
So you're great. You're the fighter. I'm just in your corner. I don't get the glory. You see what Sister Grace did? She must have a great corner man. You see the battle Brother Brandon won? He got a great corner man. See, you get the glory. My God. You get the honor. I'm just the corner man. But every great person, man or woman of God, at some time in their life, had someone great in their corner. Joshua had Moses as a corner man. Ruth had Naomi as a corner man. Oh my God, a girl with a corner man. I mean, David had Nathan and Samuel as a corner man. As a corner man. You know, Paul had Peter, Abraham had Melchizedek. Moses went to the mountain. You know why Moses went to the mountaintop? It was in between rounds. Don't go to the mountaintop. You ever look the devil in the eye and say, baby, don't go nowhere. I'll be right back. I'm going to talk to my corner man. Dear Lord, well, I'm losing this battle. But Lord, if you step in, you send me a miracle. You crack the sea wide open. You send some ravens to feed me. You send some angels lest I dash my feet upon the stone. I could win this fight. And then you go back and say, okay, get up, devil. I'm ready for another round. I'm ready for it because I got a good cut man. I got a good corner man. Now, man, what is it? Who do you have in your corner?
Come on now.
I want you to go all this week. And I want you to say, devil, I got Pastor Vic in my corner. Silver and gold have I none, but such as I have, give I thee. I'll encourage you. I'll yell at you. I'll tell you, get up and keep fighting and keep going. Well, listen, here's my offer to you. Keep coming. Keep coming. Keep coming. 5 years ago, I enrolled in some MMA fight to be trained as an MMA fighter. I paid my money. And I went twice a week. And the sensei, they call him the sensei, the master, the leader, never introduced himself to me. Never once came and said, my name is so-and-so. They said the man could kick so high he could hit the bottom of a basketball hoop. And I would fight and look at him. He wouldn't even look at me. 5 years ago, I got so mad that this man never came down to talk to me that I quit. I quit. This week I was studying, and God brought to remembrance that man that never came to talk to me. And he says, I think God calls me Pilon. He says, hey, Pilon, come here. I said, yeah, God. It's in between rounds. See, I had a moment to myself. It's in between rounds. God says, remember that man that never... He said, you remember that man that never introduced yourself to you? I said, yeah, God, I remember, man. What a turkey, man. I paid my money and showed up. He goes, hold on. He goes, you know why he didn't introduce himself to you? I said, why, Lord? He said, because he knew you were going to quit. He said he wasn't going to invest all of his knowledge into a quitter. Now he says, if you were to